morning, are we okay? I'm just going to give it one more minute, okay, and then we can make a start. How are you feeling this morning, guys? Another week over. Is that 80 in lockdown now then? I've completely lost track of how long we've been doing this at home. End of March, wasn't it? April, May, June. Oh my goodness. So you haven't done Pilates before. Very slow, controlled. Centers around your core and your lumbar spine. Helps with realignment and strengthening of your back. Helps to strengthen through your core as well, and your pelvic floor muscle, the muscle you'd use to when you're going to the toilet to stop mid-flow, that sort of thing. So if you are new, we're going to use level 1, beginner level. That is your option, okay, and then we'll build it up gradually. Just turn the volume off on my phone. So we'll make a start, nice and upright, nice and tall, toes and knees point forwards, shoulders down and relaxed. Make sure you're balanced and central, so you're just going to rock from side to side, forwards and backwards, making sure you've got an even distribution of weight across both of your feet. You don't feel lopsided, you don't feel like you're leaning. So nice and upright, shoulders down and relaxed. You've got to find your neutral spine, so you're just going to tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards, finding the position where your back feels the most comfortable. You've got to find that natural lordotic curve in your spine. Once you're happy that you've found your neutral spine, your comfortable back, maintain it from this point on. Then I'd like you to imagine your pelvic floor muscle, so the muscle you'd use to stop mid-flow, I'd like you to imagine that that muscle is attached to a lift, okay? And there's 10 floors, and I want you to draw the pelvic floor muscle up as far as you can. So it's going to feel uncomfortable and it's going to feel difficult to maintain. So you're going to lower it down to the 5th floor, and then down to the 3rd floor, and leave it there. So you know you're holding it, you can feel this minor engagement, but it's not too uncomfortable, and hopefully you'll be able to maintain it. Then I'd like to imagine that you've got a belt around your middle with 10 notches. Pull that belt into notch number 10 so your tummy goes as tight as possible. Take it out to notch 5, out to notch 3, and leave it there. So you've tightened and engaged all around the middle. It's like you're wearing a tight corset around the centre of the body. So holding through your core, keeping your neutral spine, you'll then need to breathe from the rib cage. So you're going to place your hands on your ribs. You're going to take a nice deep breath in and release. Take a nice deep breath in and release. Lovely. Relax the arms down. So from here, you're just going to gently allow the shoulders to gently rotate one way, lifting up, pedaling through the feet, and then take them the other way. Place your feet down, lift up onto your toes, lengthen the whole body, and release. Lengthen all the way up, and release. Well done. You're just going to step forward with your left leg, and you're going to lengthen your back leg, bring your body forwards and down, and then push yourself back to the centre and go on the other leg. Now I only want you to go as far as you feel comfortable. Lengthening the back leg, pushing through that front foot, always coming back to the centre. I'd like you to do one more on each leg, and then coming back into the middle. You're going to step out to the side. Sorry, I'm just starting my watch. Reach up and over, back into the centre, and then go the other way. So one leg lengthens, the other leg bends, and more importantly, you're opening up through the waist, lateral flexion, one more to each side. Last one here, and into the middle. Standing upright, you're going to bring those arms forward. You're going to take a breath in, breathe out, rotate, breathe in to return. Breathe out, rotate, breathe in to return. So as you breathe out and rotate, I'd like to take one arm round and then bring it back to the middle. Breathe out, rotate, breathe in, return. One more to each side. Try and keep your hips nice and still. Last one here. Back into the center. Release the arms down. So stand towards the back of your mat or whatever you've got to lay down on. You're going to breathe in, tuck your chin into your chest. And then you're going to breathe out and begin to gently lower down through your back. You're going to allow your arms to hang and relax. Then you're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're going to begin to roll back up. Rebuild your spine vertebrae by vertebrae all the way to the top. Relax the shoulders. Reset your posture. Breathe in, chin to the chest. Breathe out, begin to roll down. Gently roll down through your spine. Allow your arms to hang and relax. And then when you're ready, begin the process of rolling, rebuilding your back all the way to the top. And as you reach the top, relax the shoulders and reset. So we're going to roll down and we're going to come down to the mat this time, okay? So gently rolling down. And then at your lowest point, I'd like you to walk your hands forward into downward dog. Now mind your hands don't slip, guys. Try and keep those legs nice and straight. Try and keep those feet flat. If you have any problems with your blood pressure, then you're going to come down and do a cat stretch. Breathing out, round your spine, tuck the chin in, breathe in, release. That's if you've got any issues, blood pressure, backs, knees, anything like that. Otherwise, we're going to breathe in, bring the knees forward and down. And then breathe out to push back. Breathe in, bring the knees forwards and down. Breathe out to push back. Good. Gently bringing those knees down towards the floor and back. So this time you're going to hold, you're going to hover the knees just above the mat. If you're doing your cat, carry on. Gently lower down your knees. Bring your hands out slightly wider than your chest. So box position level 1, so knees under the hips. Breathe in, bring the chest forward and down. Breathe out, push all the way up. Breathe in, bring the chest forwards and down. Breathe out, push yourself back up. Level 1, hands and knees. Level 2, legs further away, hold breath into lower, hold breath out. Level 3, up on those toes, hold breath into lower, hold breath out to lift. Carry on for me, please. Now your breathing is important here because you're breathing the opposite way to how you would if you were doing a regular press up in the gym, but also you're going a lot slower. You've got to use your breathing, okay? So it's a whole breath in to get down, and then a whole breath out to push up. So it's slow and controlled, deep, full breaths, core in place, neutral spine in place. In your push-up, please complete one more repetition. Once you've completed that, you can bring the arms back in. So the elbow and the wrist are under the shoulders. Bring your knees in so they're under the hips, and you should have hips distance gap between your thighs. So from here, breathe in. As you breathe out, push one leg out behind you, and then breathe in to bring that leg in. Now as you alternate between the legs, make sure your hips don't drop from side to side. And I want you to take that leg as far away as you can without leaning to the side. Breathe out, push it all the way back, feel the lengthening through the core, and then breathe in and bring it all the way back in. Next level, breathe out, push, raise in line with the body. Breathe in, toes touch down, draw the knee back under. Breathe out, push away and raise. Breathe in lower and draw back in. So you're allowing the leg to lift, but no higher than the body. You could allow level 3, the hand to slide out in front, opposite hand to leg. And at level 4, you can raise the opposite arm as well. You've got to make sure they have fully extended. So you've pushed them away from the body as far as they'll go before you lift them up. Okay? And when you lower, toes touch the floor, and then you draw the leg back in. So don't let your knee touch the floor before your foot. And in your swimming, I would like, please, one more on each side. Once you've completed those 2, we're going to come into a leg pull, but we're going to come down to level 1 to begin with, okay? So you're going to come down onto your forearms and elbows. Your knees are going to be down, but you're going to draw your pelvis up. I don't want your bottom in the air, so your pelvis is raised, but your back is nice and straight. Looking down between the wrists so your neck stays in line. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lower the hip one side. Breathe in, come to the middle. Breathe out, lower the hip to the other side. Breathe in, come to the middle. So we're allowing a hip drop from one side to the other. Now when you lower your hip, don't look at what your hip's doing. Keep looking down at the floor. Otherwise you're going to lose that alignment through the neck. If you want to go further, then your knees come off the floor and you do your hip drop from there. Always coming back to that central point. Breathe out to lower the hip down. Breathe in to bring it back to the middle. Draw in and up through the core. Keep that back nice and long. So in your hip drop, with your knees down or up, I'm going to ask you please for one more to each side. Then you're gently going to lower all the way down. You're going to bring your arms out into capital E shape. By capital E, I mean elbow in line with your shoulder. Your head is that central line on a capital E, yeah? So legs are lengthened, big toes touch, heels drop out. I need you to keep your legs still and I need you to keep your legs down. Head is down. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, peel the chest up, keep looking down, and then breathe in to gently lower. Breathe out, peel the chest up, keep looking down, breathe in, gently lower. So you're peeling the chest up off the floor, you're looking down at all times because we don't want to keep adjusting the neck, okay? You're lifting up through your spine, through your top of your back, peeling up. If you want to go further, breathe out, come halfway, okay, to where you are now. Then breathe in, breathe out, and you can push further up into extended swan dive. And then breathe in, gently lower, don't drop. Breathe out, come up. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, come up further. Breathe in and release. So this is your swan dive. This is strength and mobility for your back and for your core. What you need to do is imagine you've got an ice cube underneath your belly button. You don't want to touch it, so you have to draw up your core muscles. And I'm going to ask you please, in your swan dive, at the level you're working at, for one more repetition, please. And once you've completed that one, you're going to slide the arms back in, and we're going to come into leg pull, but we're just going to hold it this time. So knees down at level 1, knees up at level 2. Keep looking down. If you want level 3, you're coming up onto the hands. Make sure the back remains still. Don't hang your head, but also don't crank your neck. You've got to keep the head and neck in line. If you come up onto your hands, it's very important that you keep the wrists and the elbows under the shoulders. A lot of the time, I will see people come up and take their hands out wider. If you're doing that, you're not going to be working effectively through your core. The same as if you're taking your legs out wide, we want a straight line, we don't want a triangle shape. So hold and breathe. Strengthen through the core and the lumbar spine. Deep, full breaths. Now, if you begin to shake or wobble, it's a sign of muscle fatigue. So you just have a little rest and then join back in when you're ready. But I'd just like 2 more breaths, please. Once you've completed those 2, you're gently going to lower and you're going to turn onto one side. Now your elbow is directly under your shoulder. You haven't got that arm too far away. We'll work through with bent legs and then I'll progress you on, okay? So bent legs, head and neck in line with the spine, so we've got a diagonal body. And from here, the first thing is to hoist up your rib cage. So if you do nothing else, hold this position because your obliques and your core are already working, okay? But if you want to go further, you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to raise the hip. As you breathe in, you're going to lower. And we're just lifting straight up. We're not allowing that body to roll forwards or back. If you want to, your arm can come up and over. Breathe out as you lift, in as you release. Keep that rib cage lifted. Even when you lower, still keep that rib cage raised. If you want to go further, you can bring your legs out straight. Make sure they're in line with your body. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to release. Side bend, working into the waist. Also, you've got some effort coming from around the shoulder and the top of that arm. And I'd like just 1 more, please. And then gently lower all the way down onto your side. Lengthen out your body. Legs in line with the body. Point the toes, point the fingers. This hand is here for your balance and support. So you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, raise both your legs up without rolling your hips forwards or back. Like I said, that hand is there if you want it. You're going to breathe in and lower the legs an inch from the floor. And then breathe out and lift them back up. Breathe in, lower them an inch from the floor. Breathe out and lift them back up. If you don't need the hand there for balance, you can place it on your thigh. If you're still pretty good with that, you take the arm all the way over. Breathe out to lift, in to release. Don't let those legs touch the floor. Keep the legs stuck together like glue. Breathe out, lift up. Breathe in to release. Strengthen and lengthen through the side of the body, through the waist. You've also got some work around the top of that leg, around the hip and the bottom. Core muscles, neutral spine. It's almost like you're laying between 2 panes of glass. You can't roll forward, you can't roll backwards. But we are able to raise and lower, side raise through the legs. And I'm just going to ask you please, for 1 more repetition here, working directly into the obliques, and then you can gently release. And if you need to give that a little rub, please do. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring yourself to sit. Now we're lengthening the back, we've got the chin up off the chest, we've got our feet and knees hips distance apart, shoulders down and relaxed. So we're going to do a roll up and then we're going to do a roll back, okay? So, chin off the chest, don't lower the head. Breathe in and tilt like I've put my finger into your belly button. And then breathe out and lower as far as you can go. Then breathe in, start to come up. Breathe out, continue. all the way up, okay? So remember, however far you go down, you've got to get back up without allowing these legs to move or the feet to raise. Breathe in, tilt, breathe out, lower, breathe in, start to lift, breathe out, continue, all the way up. If you prefer, you can work with straight legs. Sometimes if you've got a lower back issue, or you've got tight hamstrings, that muscle in the back of the thigh, sometimes it's more comfortable for you to work with straight legs. Doesn't make the exercise any more difficult, it's a matter of comfort, okay? Remember, always coming back to your central point. Breathe in to tilt, breathe out to lower. Breathe in, start the lift, breathe out, continue, all the way up. Lengthen the spine, chin in, up off that chest. Only going as far as comfortable. Breathe in to tilt, breathe out to lower. Breathe in, start to come up, breathe out, continue, without moving your knees. You're going to do one more roll up for me, strength through your core and your lumbar spine. And then we're going to come into a lovely mobility exercise for your back. Now I want you to imagine a rocking horse or a rocking chair. That motion of going forwards and backwards. Level 1, you start in this position. You breathe in, tilt, roll, you come back up to this position. Lengthen the back, feet down. Level 2, hover your feet above the floor. And when you come back up, your feet are still hovered. So start on those ones. Breathe in, tilt and roll. Breathe out, lift up. Level 1, feet come all the way down. Level 2, feet hover. Keep the feet and knees apart. Now if you want the next level, you're going to cross your legs and you're going to hold your feet. You're going to breathe in, tilt and roll, and then breathe out and come up, but don't let those legs touch the floor. Now it is up to you which level you do. Good. Breathe in, tilt and roll, breathe out, come up. Or bring those feet down. Rocking chair, that motion with your spine. Rolling out, rolling down, and all the way back up. And I'm going to ask you, please, in your roll up, for one more, your roll back, sorry, for one more. And then I'd like you to carefully come all the way down onto your back and take those legs out nice and straight. So find a comfortable position laying down on your back, legs out, point the toes away, arms down by your sides. So you're looking straight up at the ceiling, draw in the core muscles, breathe in. As you breathe out, just lift one leg up, about 12 inches from the floor. And you've got your toes pulled away. So all I want you to do is breathe in and point the toes towards the body, so you're pushing your heel towards the wall. And then breathe out and point the toes away. Breathe in, bring the toes towards you. Breathe out, point the toes out. Now that leg is raised, which means the core muscles are working. The neutral spine is working. Otherwise that leg would be on the floor. If you want to work at the next level, then you've got both legs raised and moving together. Breathe in, toes point to the body. Breathe out, toes point away. If you go into the double leg option, you've got to be really careful not to allow your tummy muscles to dome and not to allow your spine to be pushed down into the mat. So it's only as far as comfortable, but with good technique. Don't try a high level and get the technique wrong, because you might as well not bothered, okay? If you've just got that one leg up, allow that leg to lower, breathe in, breathe out, lift the other leg, toes point away, breathe in, point the toes in, breathe out, point the toes away. Core muscles zipped up, breathe in, point the toes in, breathe out, toes point away. So your core muscles zipped up, pulled in place. We're just allowing those legs to work, pointing the toes in and out, lengthening up through the thigh, up through the core, strengthen right around the centre of the body. Breathe in, toes in, breathe out, toes out. And I'm just going to ask you, please, for one more. If you've got both legs raised, one leg at a time goes down. Gently lower the leg, and then you're going to bend your legs. Find neutral spine, so you may need to just tilt your pelvis a couple of times. Find the position where your back is comfortable. Imagine I've placed a spirit level across your hips, okay? Bubble of air central and still. And it should stay there even when we add the exercise. Core muscles engaged, neutral spine in place. Breathe in. Breathe out, lift one leg up to a right angled position. Knee above the hip, ankle in line with the knee. So strengthen through the core. Keep your other leg absolutely still. Don't let that knee wobble. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lengthen. Allow the leg to pull away. And then breathe in and bring it in. Now we keep it bent. We breathe out, we touch the foot down. We breathe in, we bring it back up. We lengthen. So this is one leg stretch. Lengthen. Don't let it touch down. Breathe in, bring it in. This time maintain the angle in the knee. Allow the foot to touch down and then to come back up. That's your scissor. What you don't do is move your knee. Breathe out to lengthen. Breathe in to return. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in to lift. So the first one, we're getting that leg nice and long. And then on the second one, we're keeping the leg bent and the movement is coming from the top of the leg through the hip flexor. If you want to work harder, you can have the other leg raised, but we're going to keep it still. And then your next level would be to bring up the upper body. Make sure those core muscles stay engaged. Remember, your breathing is full and deep. So your movement should be slow and controlled. With this leg, I'd like you to make one more of each movement. One more on the one leg stretch, lengthen the leg away, draw it back in. And then one more on the scissor, keeping the leg bent, touch the foot down and up. And once you've completed those two, keep it nice and still. Shoulders down and relaxed, core muscles in place. Allow that leg to lower, and then other leg comes up. Now, if you worked with both legs lifted last time, don't assume that you can work with both legs lifted this time. Your body is stronger on one side than the other, okay? Yes, we need to level it out by challenging it, but at the same time, if we can't do a level 1 properly, then we shouldn't be doing a higher level. Breathe in. Breathe out to lengthen. Keep this knee nice and still. Breathe in to return. Leg is bent, right angle. Breathe out, touch the floor. Breathe in and lift. So one leg stretch, lengthen. Pull the toes away. Breathe in to return. Keep it bent. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, lift. Shoulders down and relax. Now if you're doing this, and your supporting knee is absolutely still, you haven't moved it, then you can bring that other leg up, but keep it nice and still. Remember, right angle in the knee. If this leg starts to allow the heel to drop, then you need to take that leg back down, okay? And then your next option was to bring up the upper body. Breathing out to lengthen, in to return, keeping it bent. Breathe out to lower and in to raise. Movement coming through the top of the leg, through the hip flexor on that scissor, not from your knee. So in your level, at your pace, the pace of your breathing, I'm going to ask you please for one more of each movement, and then you're just going to hold that leg in place. If you've got both legs lifted, when we're finished, one foot at a time comes down. So you're just going to take another 2 breaths. And then you can allow those feet to come back down. If you want to take a long body stretch there, you are more than welcome to do so. And then when you're ready, I'd like to come round onto your side. Now we start propped up. Elbow, shoulder, head and neck in line with the spine. Hoist up the rib cage. Remember, you can stay here. The obliques are already working, the core is already working, the neutral spine is in place. So even if you do nothing else, you're still working here, okay? Breathe in, breathe out. Lift the hip without rolling. Breathe in to gently lower. Breathe out, lift the hip up. Breathe in, release. So it's being pulled up towards the ceiling. Keep that rib cage raised. Now further, you can take the arm up and over. Just let that hip kiss the mat and come back up. And then if you want to go further still, you can have your legs out straight. Entirely up to you. I'm just going to wet my throat. Breathe out as you lift and in as you release. And I'm going to ask you please for one more. And then you're going to carefully lower and lengthen out, okay? Nice straight line with the body. Head rests down on the arm. This hand is here for your balance, okay? Core muscles zipped up. Remember, it's like you're in two panes of glass. You can't roll forwards, can't roll backwards. Point the toes. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lift the legs up. Now we hold it here. This is where you come back to. This is your start and finish position. So you're going to breathe in and lower, and breathe out, bring them back up. Hand is there for your balance. So it's a side leg raise. Legs stay stuck together like glue. When they lower, they're just above the floor. Don't quite let them touch. Hand is there for balance. If you don't need it, you're taking it away. That's your next level. Good. Breathing out as you lift, in as you release. Work down that leg. Keep those core muscles in place. Strengthen through the center of the body. Breathe out as you lift, in as you lower. So in your side raise, working through your waist, your obliques, your core and your lumbar spine, I would like you please to complete 2 more repetitions. Once you've done those 2, you can allow the legs to lower and just feel free to get that little rub if you need to. And then from there, we're just going to come round into our box position. Wrists and elbows under the shoulders. Knees, hips distance apart. Back in line with the spine, don't hang your head. Good. From here, I just want you to breathe in, round the spine, tuck the chin in. Breathe out and release. So a little cat stretch. This will be where you started for some of you. Breathe in, round, and breathe out. Good, so I'm going to ask you for one more of those, please. And then from there, I'd like you to sit back on your heels and lengthen the arms out. And then you're going to bring those hands towards the knees. You're going to curl the toes under, coming into a crouched position. We're going to make our way to stand. You've been on the floor for a while, please don't rush. I don't want you to feel dizzy. If you need to hold on to something, that's absolutely fine. So tuck the chin in, breathe in. As you breathe out, place your feet down and slowly begin the process of rolling up through your back. Rebuild your spine vertebrae by vertebrae. Reach the top and relax the shoulders down. Good. So as you come back up, we need to make sure that we've got that nice long posture in place once again. As you go about your day, always try and think about, is my neutral spine in place? Is my back lengthened and comfortable? Are my core muscles engaged? Should be yes and yes. Lift up onto the toes. Can you balance? And release. So you've got that even distribution of weight through those feet. Good. This time lift up, and then you're going to hold it and just try and close your eyes and see how good your balance is. Core strength, neutral spine, that helps improve your posture and your balance. And release. Well done. So Pilates for today is all done. Well done. Hopefully you found a level there that you could work with. There are plenty more Pilates videos of ours on YouTube and on our Facebook page. So that's it for this morning. And then at 4 o'clock we've got aerobics, okay? If you want to give that a go and you're not sure, if you have a look at the Monday and Wednesday of this week on Facebook, then the routine is already on there, because we're going to do the same one, so that if you started it, you kind of know where you're going with it. So feel free to look at that and join me at 4 o'clock for aerobics. Have a lovely day, guys. See you soon. Take care.